Hello, guys. Sorry for the delay. We were running around, and of course, when we're in a hurry, everybody gets in front of us at the store with a lot of stuff in their carts. People in the left-hand turn lane don't know how to turn left. All kinds of stuff like that. How's everybody doing today? Can anybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we have video. It started. Oh.
Do you have audio?
Can you guys hear me? Hear us? Hey, there's Mark. He says, hey.
We don't hear you.
Well, then I think we got our answer.
Listening to you in South Indiana, says Silver Star.
Hello, Silver Star. Indiana, huh? I'm not a sports guy, so
Sorry, commercial.
I'm sure there are some sports teams there. Hello, Lester. Hello, Dean, Jay, Stephen Andrews, Dean again. Viofly, hello. No Viofly. We were out running around to different stores trying to buy what we needed to because Mrs. Spec didn't feel good yesterday. We couldn't go out. Then it started running, raining, and I said, okay, we have to go before. If it rains really hard, we're going to be stuck in the house. And the dog didn't have his dog envelopes, and I didn't have my spaghetti sauce for my spaghetti tonight, so we were running.
So, Bob Blah is here.
Hello, blah blah blah.
You know,
Cincinnati.
we should show up late more often. There's a bunch of people here.
Yeah, when we're here on time, nobody shows up. Driving my Durango around, and it only stalled once. It only stalled once, but it did start back up, and no check engine light on, but not running well at all.
Indiana University just won national football championship. Was the worst team in the country for a century.
Well, it was their time then.
But it's just a matter of getting a better microphone. You need a You need a
boom mic.
Boom mic.
No, this little microphone always works.
This is not very good. Not a what?
Where's Barracuda? I didn't see Barracuda.
Oh, I don't have it on. I don't have it on.
Is Barracuda here? I don't see him. Maybe he's just saying hi.
I see Stray Bullet. Stray Bullet is here.
Hello, Stray Bullet.
Hey, Stray Bullet.
Yeah, maybe he's just doing a preemptive hello to Barracuda. And Jay's talking to Chris. Two Nitro Dragsters were in Lancaster last night from Ontario. Jay, why was your video only 2 minutes? No, Jay, it's not the fuel pump. It's electrical. It's computer.
Chris says to Mark Sobe, not much hosting up in our border.
I got with Jay. I got a code for the temperature sensor for the coolant, so I have to put that in. That's not what's causing the computer problems, but it's one of the things that it's asking for. But it's not on all the time. It's not telling me it needs it all the time. So I don't know. I don't know. We have enough volume. Turn your volume up, Stray Bullet.
I mean,
what?
No, something else. Jesus.
Oh, Barracuda is here.
We need more volume. Do we?
We have enough volume.
Oh, no, hold on. It's not.
Problem. They can still hear me.
No, they can't. No, yeah, they can, but horribly.
Well, does that help now? Does that help, guys? Well, I hope that's better because Mrs. Spec hadn't plugged in the sound thing into the computer.
I did. It wasn't on one.
Oh, okay.
If that's not, we can change mics. Maybe
Vilefly
that one isn't
attacks the
working.
bag of beef jerky with chopsticks again.
With chopsticks.
How small are those chopsticks, Vilefly?
Maybe they're the toothpicks.
Earth strap, Mexican Spectre. No, that didn't fix Kim's Jeep Grand Cherokee. She ordered another computer for hers. She took it apart. She cleaned the ground and everything. Didn't help her.
Did you finally see where I could though?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
And Chris has headphones on, so he probably the volume probably went way up on him.
Sorry. This is a coolant temperature sensor 100% could be the problem. I got my ban from a bad coolant temperature sensor.
Okay, but that doesn't explain why when it was failing, I turned the key to the on position and none of the gauges moved anywhere.
So what is this? Maybe I'm going deaf. That could be.
It's possible. We're all going deaf.
Yep. Jay says, oh, sorry. Come on.
Jay says that's a little better.
So what is it? It's better now.
Good.
Oh,
Glenn Nickerson is here. Hello,
hi,
Glenn.
Nickerson. And they say, I had a bath towels that matched those buckets. Pablo says, a bit. Lisa says, the problem with the computer could be triggering the code for the temperature sensor.
Yes, it could be. I already bought the temperature sensor. It's gonna go in. I'm not sure where it is on the engine, but I'll figure that out and go from there. But it's not running smooth, and it's like jumping and stuff. So something else is going on.
Dean Stevenson says, you must look really funny, Chris. Chris says, Dean, why do you say that? Jay says, ECM is the least thing usually, is
The
the last
last.
thing.
No, this is the second computer my Durango has had, so it's had the same problem before years ago.
Pablo says, I can't have beef jerky yet, so I flail at the back of it usually.
Believe is here.
Hey,
Hello, Believe.
And they're saying hi to everyone. Margaret says, I'm in a bit of a silly mood. Watching Tom Green stand up does that to me.
Really? I've never found him funny at all. Lots of hellos.
Dean says, because Volk with headphones always do. That's what says, I believe. And Glenn says, evening all, I mean all.
Close enough.
Jay says, coolant temperature sensor is how the ECM calculates fuel mixture.
Yes, it is. But again, that's not going to explain why the gauges did not react when I had it in the on position until I moved the connectors on the computer under the hood. Then everything came back to life. I recorded it on the we put it on the internet. It's on my channel.
Sorry, Trouble says it needs a proper temperature reading to run correctly.
Yes, but it's not giving me a check engine light when it's running like that. I just happened to run it down when the light was on, and then the light went off by itself.
Jay says bad coolant temperature sensor will act like a stuck choke on a carburetor.
It's not doing that.
Pablo says the air temp sensor sticks into the air inlet without port turn to remove it.
Into the air inlet. Where is it? It's in the engine, right?
Bartolo says, how about Harlan Williams?
No, he's not funny at all. When he's on Adam's show, Adam Carolla, I won't even watch it.
Dean says that's because you don't understand Canadian humor unless it's Norm Macdonald.
It's just great. Like Harlan Williams just grates on my nerves.
Jay says I didn't see it. Well, you should be watching our videos. What are you doing?
And he's gonna say the same thing. You should be. Your lives are way too early, Jay. I'm not even awake when you go live.
Pablo says air temp sensor. Jay. Shabbat says you could be resetting the computer when unplugging it.
When unplugging, I didn't unplug it. I just moved the. I didn't unplug it. I just moved the connectors and it came back to life.
Buffett says, I missed that video symptom. Symptom? I mean, somehow?
Symptom.
Right. Jay says, coolant temperature sensor near the thermostat housing.
On a 5.9 Magnum?
Bean says, that's so sad, Mexican factor. Buffett says, air filter housing.
Air filter housing. You mean the one I don't have anymore?
Nice.
It's
Sorry,
not air. It's not air temperature. It's coolant temperature. Firefly that it requested. OBS Shipyard is here. Hello, OBS Shipyard.
Hey, obvious.
What
Sorry,
are
guys.
you gonna do with that Shelby Charger? I saw your video. I don't know why people even like those cars. I avoided those cars like the plague when I was buying and selling cars. And when you in your video when you reached for the door handle, I was shocked that the door handle was not broken and the door actually opened. I was shocked.
Danny Wood is here and he missed 10 minutes.
10?
Yeah.
No, I like David Letterman, Dean. He knows how to get you. He knows how to stick you with a joke. But you were here early, so you were here earlier, Dan. I saw the message that you're not saying toad to anybody.
Jesus could have paint spreading. Use electric contact cleaner on the connector pin.
That's what I forgot to buy today.
Dean says no, Jack. Shit, it's more my type.
Oh, okay. And you missed Chris's where it says early Letterman or later. Later because I never really saw any early. I saw Letterman on Battle of the Network Stars, and he wasn't trying to be funny or anything. OBS says, need to do a will it drive on it. Yeah, that's the question. Will it drive? Is the turbo any good? Because those were a really bad system in that car. You're still eating? You're not paying attention? Glenn says, Canada is the epicenter for good comedy. SCTV, Kids in the Hall. Yes, I know. But specific, that was a long time ago, though. Specific comic, I didn't even know they were Canadian. That wouldn't make a difference. NBC Letterman was watchable. CBS Letterman, not so much.
I apologize, guys, but I've been up for 3 hours and I've been running around and I haven't had anything to eat yet.
Ray Bullet does not like Letterman. No, Barry, not Jim Gaffigan either. I don't find him funny. No problem, OBS. I like those cars that sit in the yard. Question is, how did they get there? That's the question. Why are they in that condition? Chris says to Dan, agreed. 80s Letterman was fantastic. Firefly. Oh, coolant temp sensor has a much greater influence over air-fuel mixture, like a choke on a carb. Not the entire problem, but sooting the plugs cannot be good. It's not running rich. There's no smoke or anything, none of that. Howard Stern is scum. I don't think Dave is that bad, but I could be wrong. I agree with you, Dan. I won't watch anything Howard Stern is on at all.
Dean says, I like Jack D's sarcasm, though. Points for being sarcastic.
I don't know who that is.
And Chris says, Caribe.
Caribe. Actually, Chris, I'm going to be doing a video about the Caribes in Mexico, and I put in here along the way the first 1977 Caribe, which were all four doors, and then the 78, 79, all the way up to the special 87. So they're all spread along in here.
Jay says, how about English comedy? Benny Hill.
Benny Hill was funny, but up to a point. He did the same thing in every show with no thought. There was no thought given to that show. Just is the same thing over and over and over again.
Then says, Danny Boyster. I like John
Cope's Danny Boy knockoff video. It almost looks like you. How do you know what he looks like? Chris says, you haven't had anything to eat yet, so cheap bastard Miguel still hasn't bought you your ice cream. Hey, I offered. We were just at the store. She said no.
She bought me some bread.
But we don't have any extra money to be going out. We still owe the bank for We have the money we borrowed from that last vehicle. Danny Boyd. CTS is a hacks avenue to richening up the mixture. CTS. I don't know what CTS is. Gray Bullet. It's car show season, so I've been expounding on the virtues of the Mexican air-cooled Volkswagen. Mexican. Well, thank you very much, Gray Bullet. There needs to be more of them over there. I mean, Cop Car Steve did a video at a Mustang show. Not one Mexican Mustang was at that show in Canada. It is definitely lacking Mexican Mustangs up there.
Barracuda doesn't like Howard Stern either, but he seems better behaved lately.
It doesn't matter. It's what's in his head. It's what's in his head.
Chevrolet says, I'm trying to create a buzz.
Oh, thank you. Send them my way.
Dan says to Barracuda, he's probably trying to suck up. Bob says, Howard Stern. Bleh. Dean says, that'll take a lot of suck, Danny Boyster. Also says, be right back. Dean says, he's handsome, has a mullet, and the best t-shirt. Chevrolet says, Howard Stern is worse than Letterman. Dean says, and a deep, sexy voice. Dan says, the roof here is being replaced by Hombres Buenos de Mexico. They gave me a Modelo the other night, so I bought a sixer of Modelo tonight and drank two of, and let the other four in their van.
How many guys were there? Were there 5 guys so they could fight over the last one? That's what waitresses do in restaurants. You know, there's 2 people at the table. They bring you three rolls. It's just a thing. We've seen it all over the world, all over the place. Doesn't matter where you are. They will not bring you 1 roll per person. It'll be an odd number. Well, says, I've been telling everyone that I have a reliable source for importing them. Yes, you do, and anything else they want from Mexico. John Wilburn is live. He's on a walk. Don't tell the chat. Well, you told the chat, Dean. Hey, erase that.
Bueno. Dan says, I think just today, not sure.
Okay, well that divides pretty well. So you were never a waiter in your life? Because I'm sure that's taught in waiter school. Hey, give that two person table over there 3 rolls, and let's see how they fight over the last one. Fight to the death.
Margarita says that Opal is sort of like a Vauxhall Victor.
Is it? I'm sure it's the same company. Vauxhall, Opel, it was all under the same roof. But I think this thing's missing its headlights. Are like broken out. They're glass headlights, but they don't seem to be there. Just where you put the headlight bulb in, but the lens isn't actually there.
This is dang, I'm sorry.
I'm sure we can find them though. Now this is an underrated car. This is not a Dodge Dart K. This is a Valiant Volare K. It was even cheaper than the Dart because it has no options. No options. Dean says only much better built. It doesn't have rack and pinion steering either.
OBS says, what's your take on the best vehicles from 68 to 08 and cash for clunkers? I'm doing a live tonight and we'll be covering that.
Well, Cash for Clunkers was a direct attack on poor people. And wasn't Obama supposed to be there to take care of them and not do something like that? Well, he didn't. Poor people, because they had to destroy the engines and the parts, though that was what poor people needed to buy from the junkyard to keep their cars going. So that, as far as best vehicles from 68 to 08, that's 40 years of cars.
So, well, it says, did I tell you guys that I found yet another non-air cooled Volkswagen?
Which one?
Glenn says, I've been a waiter for the last 2 hours waiting for the Spec to get this party started tonight.
Oh, haha, Glenn. 2 hours? We were only 23 minutes late. Only 23 minutes.
OBS says, agreed. Dean says, Fox bodies before 1988. Great cars.
What happened after 88?
OBS says, and it gutted the industry that needed those cars.
Yes, it did. Yep. We lost a lot of good, dependable used cars from the market, forcing people to not have cars because there's no way they were going to go out and buy a new car. They couldn't. The people that had those old cars. It's crazy. Oh, that's not unknown, Stray Bullet. That's definitely known. The Brazilian car.
It says MAF and no speed density. Glenn says Cash for Clunkers was to bail out the auto industry, and this is how they tanked the consumer making garbage.
You could look at it that way. It was also a direct attack on poor people, having to destroy the engines so nobody could use any of the parts off of them was the problem. They wanted those cars off the road. If it was only to bail out the auto industry, they could have just offered the money for the trade in and let the car be sold to somebody that needed one of those cars. No, they had to have them off the road, destroyed completely and crushed.
Since the MAF sensor ports kind of suck. So it says I knew about the SP2, but I didn't know about the SP1.
Hmm,
If there is an SP2, there has to be an SP1.
maybe. I don't know why people don't import those from Brazil other than the price. In Brazil, the 1966 Ford Galaxy body was used, I think, well up into the early 80s. It was the same car, same dashboard, same everything. They changed the lights a little bit, but it was the exact same car, the 66 Galaxy. And if you go on to Mercado Libre, which is Latin America's eBay, in Brazil, and look for one of those, and then convert the price to US dollars, we're talking like $40,000 for a 66 Ford Galaxy.
I don't think it will be eBay anymore because people don't sell their own private stuff anymore.
It's well, it used to be the auction site. Well, they don't do
Yeah,
auctions
they don't do
anymore.
auctions
Yeah,
anymore.
but it's the similar thing.
It used to be the eBay, but now it's more like an Amazon. The Glenn says they didn't get mine, did they?
They didn't get anything from me either. Of course, I was
OBS
in Mexico.
OBS says used parts industry, coordinations, good job government.
Yeah, and now the companies that are making the new parts are not, they're being bought out and shut down. So I really hope somebody fills the vacuum and comes to Mexico or something and makes those parts and then send them into the U.S. instead of
Then
going all the way to China. Shipping from Mexico is much cheaper than China.
Dan says so was the original 1960 Falcon body.
The original for what? What are
Um,
you talking about, Dan? Did I miss something? Inspector Bruce is here. Hello, Bruce.
hey,
Thanks for joining us.
Argentina kept it until 1994 with a detachable intake manifold head to solo pipe.
Oh, okay. You're still talking about Brazil. Okay.
I want to take a pill.
Take one for me, too.
Why is it so
Stray Bullet
warm?
says it's currently 103 degrees in Northern California. We didn't get that warm today because it's overcast and a little bit of rain dropped.
It's really freaking humid though.
Yeah, it is really humid. It's in the 80s, but sweating like a, well, like what? No thanks. Nope. I'll tell you guys, the other, like 3 days ago, 4 days ago, I was in this room with Mrs. Spec, and I was trying to get as many mosquitoes as I could. And I thought to myself, I'm in my 60th year. I think I'm doing pretty well, with no diseases, no nothing. Immediately when I thought that, my left knee went out. Just started hurting really bad, couldn't stand on my leg. That lasted for 2 days, and then the pain disappears just like it showed up. I don't know what it was. Just 2 days I couldn't walk. Absolutely crazy. So I'm not gonna think that anymore. See, Chris says 81 Fahrenheit there in upstate New York. We're a little bit warmer than that, 83, 84, something like that. But really overcast. We're glad it didn't really. Where's your phone?
Right there.
Glad it didn't rain a lot and flood in front and everything. So at least we got that going for us. Barry says, I think in Brazil their 65 Falcon is the same as the Australian 65 Falcon, and they produced them into the 80s with small changes. Yeah, but look at what they want for the old cars. Probably not much off from where you guys are, but they made a lot of them. Dean says, like the MF or LOL. Mexican Spectre Barracuda could time you out. Barracuda's not blue, is he?
J is blue.
Yeah, Jay is blue. But I don't think Jay's. Are you still here, Jay?
Hi.
Hi. What'd you take a pill for?
And
Hmm.
guess what?
What? What?
No, I said guess.
No. Dean says final year of production for the Ford Falcon in Argentina was 91, but did it still look like the 60s car, or was it like a Australia that has Falcon on the name Falcon on a different car? Barry's leprosy is clearing up. Well, that's good. I put this wagon in here,
Did you touch a
so
armadillo?
just because I think it would be a good restoration project for somebody. We could paint it, we could do the interior, we could rebuild the engine, and have a really nice Malibu station wagon.
Hey, Davo.
Hey, Tavo.
Hey, you know. Mercury, did you touch an armadillo? That's what you have leprosy?
Armadillos have leprosy?
Some of them, yeah.
Oh. Is that because that body part fell off there? But I think that Malibu wagon would be a nice car to restore. Not restore, just recondition. A nice paint job, do the interior, which wouldn't cost very much, rebuild the 6 cylinder engine. I think it would be nice. I think it would come out really nice. Put new tires on it, new brakes. Without spending a whole lot of money, that car could be really, really nice. It would be a good project. There's another one I think I put in here too. Uno says that's albinos, not armadillo.
What? No. With leprosy? No, it's armadillos. I know what I'm talking about.
Uno, which is worse, albinos or gingers?
You guys are mean.
Firefly is back.
Hey, Firefly.
Had to solve the icing problem on the AC unit, restricted airflow.
Firefly can confirm what I just said.
I think he said he had to solve the icing problem on the cake. That's all I see for icing is on cakes. Hey,
What?
mosquito just buzzed my ear. Come back at me. I dare you. Very good. No, I've just been applying the cream regularly. Uno says albino gingers are a double whammy. Yes, they are. But if they're albino, how could they be a ginger?
Ah.
Dan says, how much did Al, or is that AI, pay for the nose? What are you doing over there? Why? Chris says to Dean, behave yourself or I'll have to write you up. Dean, you're on a leprosy mission, Barracuda.
Who was the one that got the spider bite last time?
Barracuda.
Is that what you have? Leprosy?
Albinos or gingers? Tavo likes gingers. You don't really see albinos around anyway, do you? Because they can't go out in the sun. Dan
I'll let
loves
you in. Be quiet.
Dan loves the wheels. Barracuda. I saw an albino ferret once. He had pink eyes. Yeah,
yeah.
a lot of rats have that too. Albinger, Uno says. Yeah, mix them up. I dare you, mosquito, to come back at me. I dare you.
Can you hear me well enough?
Chris here's Kete.
Hace para atrás.
Where's the cat?
Abajo de la cama.
Chris here's Kete. Actually, you hear Danny. Kete normally would be Gato Spec. Now I can't. Now it's everything's blurry.
Oh, sorry.
Dean says spiders like eating Scotch and Danish. Eating?
Why do I see 10 likes but only 18 people watching? Only 10 likes but 18 people watching, huh? Huh?
Stray Bullet says that Volkswagen has a proper exhaust system. The dual exhaust just robs power. Try to explain that to people though. I haven't shown one of these on here in a while. This is a Volkswagen Pointer wagon, which is in pretty nice condition, inside and out. Basically, a Brazilian Volkswagen that was sold in Mexico.
What are you watching?
Biofly. Phone screen died on me. Cost more to fix it than it's worth. So I got a used Samsung S20 on order. Every machine betrays me.
That's a good phone.
Believe in thyself. Fun with cars. Uno. What?
I can't see the messages.
Why?
Damn it. There you go.
Chris says to Stray Bullet, the dual pea shooter exhaust is what gives it the Volkswagen sound. Yeah.
Marcelo says, yeah, Mexico told me to get bitten by a red-backed spider to see what would happen. So now you have leprosy.
So what happened?
You got leprosy, obviously.
Oh. Okay. Good test. Bite it first, wait for it to necrotize, then slurp. Ugh. Not when we haven't eaten anything, Dean. It's because of the Volkswagen firing order. Yeah.
I don't have that message. I just put it on all messages. What the fuck? So was it? It's because of the Volkswagen firing order. Dean says, was it a red-back Marcelo? Yes.
These were good little cars to drive around town, drive your little family around with being a station wagon. So they served their purposes, their purpose. I was just shocked to see one in such nice condition for such a low price, with wheels and everything.
How do you say purposes and not say purposes?
Dolphin. You said porpoise, right?
Yes.
Porpoise. That's a dolphin. Mm-hmm.
Purpose.
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 Your purpose in life is ... The Stray Bullet says it does give it that nice putt 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 sound driveway. Yeah, but drive cross country, it can get on your nerves.
He says Catipo and Redback have offspring which cannot reproduce.
That doesn't sound good for their history, for their family. But everything in Australia is poisonous berry, except the beer. Depends who's drinking it, Glenn.
But some days I just don't want to fix anything, even though I know how. This is one of those days.
Take a day off.
Marcelo says, no, I lied about everything.
We don't know that. Don't get rid of the fantasy.
Uno says, no, it's very good as have allergies. Albinos have armadillos. Dean says, I forgive you, very good at. Sin no more. Uno says, Pointer Wagon?
Yes, Pointer Wagon. Volkswagen Pointer Wagon. It came in a 3-door, a 5-door, and the wagon.
Uno says, the girl just tastes like Trophy. Rafa says it was strangely satisfying to have the floor joist in the house repaired by someone else.
Hmm. Did you watch them do the work?
Says, well, that's a nice EFI slant.
Turbo. Turbo slant.
Marcela says, in Australia, yes, but there's hardly anything dangerous in New Zealand.
Hmm.
Pablo says, termite damage. Oh, that sucks. Pablo says, nice land 6. Oh, turbo.
Turbo. Yep. I don't think I'd be able to sell this car because it's not a stock engine. EPA would not allow it to cross into the US.
Means it's turbo. Pablo says, that car has a fancy cold air intake system.
And computers, which defeats the purpose of having a slant 6. Somebody did a lot of work to it.
Pablo says, I didn't have to watch the guy do the work. I have a crawl space, not a basement.
And look what car he put it in. A two-door hardtop Valiant, which is a car they didn't even sell in the US.
Glenn says, a dingo ate my shrimp on the barbie.
Here's the 1977 Volkswagen Caribe. All of them were four doors with hatchback. All of them, the first year. It was actually a half year, 1977. Ignore the golf thing. Somebody put that on there. The next one, a few cars down, will be the 1978.
Uno says, unless you're a sheep, and then everyone is built with Velcro gloves and rubber boots is dangerous for the sheep.
They stick to the wool.
Chevrolet says it has a silver spinny thing on it. Hercules says Crawl Space is one of my favorite movies. Hercules says, he's using Spiduino injection for it.
The standalone thing that you've talked about.
Dan says hardtop with the sedan roofline.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Chevrolet says Kim should be here to see this.
She's probably busy trying to get her Grand Cherokee to run, or they're setting up their live right now.
Dean says Spiduino EFI Mega Squirt hack.
That's not the right bumper for a 77. That's a later one, but it looks okay.
Firefly knows the software.
Pretty nice for a 77 Caribe.
Dean says speed density live Firefly. Chris says those wheels don't do the Caribe justice. Firefly says looks like it.
We can always get stock wheels. They're easy to find. EC 833. Those kind of look like Pinto wheel covers, but they're not. This is a 1967 Datsun Bluebird Vilefly. This is what came before the Datsun 510.
Chevrolet says they should set up their live in the hotel parking lot tonight.
They don't want the hotel to know they're doing a live, and they probably don't have any internet out there.
The internet they might, but the cables is gonna be an issue. Dean says speed density.
And noise.
That was his Bluebird. Dean says that's a Bluebird.
Yep.
Buffalo says tilts head quizzically. Ah.
You've never seen a Bluebird? Really? Never saw one before.
Buffalo says interesting. Never saw one before. The boy says, "Wow, look at that 411."
No, it's not a Volkswagen. It's a Datsun. Datsun. Somebody's really done this one up nice. The interior just grabs your head and slams it into the ground. Bright, bright red. Bright red. Gotta wear sunglasses driving this thing.
Dean says B series BMC knockoff engine. Chevrolet says I have a bunch of parts of that car in my vast collection. Cabo says they were common in the mythical place they call Australia.
They're probably not around much anymore though. There's a few nice ones around, but some of them have been through the mill. Let's put it that way. Been through the mill.
It says Spinal Colony.
Penal colony.
Buffalo says even the Japanese flag sticker on it. Chris says bright red is better than charcoal gray.
Very true.
Tribble says you could get the SSS engine in that here.
Yes, you can, but I will admit that the Datsun 510 that came after this was a much better body style, much nicer body style.
Dean says name after Donald Campbell's Bluebird. He didn't sue them when he had the chance. Cabo says see as many of those still around as we do deals.
Really? That's interesting. You already said that, Uno. And believe me, they know. Look at the license plate on this car. NGL.
Not gonna lie.
Not gonna lie. Anybody that has this license plate, you know they're a damn liar. Not gonna lie. How they start off the conversation. Not gonna lie.
Papa says these Japanese spec vehicles now.
No, it's still Mexican spec because they were still made in Mexico. There was no importing of vehicles at this point. That's pretty plush interior for a 200 SX. I lost a few of these pictures, so it started with this one. Oh well. I think I've shown this Combi before. Yellow with the interior and everything. Headrests. Ah,
Papa says Toyota van.
Combi. Volkswagen. But looks like somebody took a white van and just painted the outside yellow. They didn't paint the door jambs. They didn't paint anything else. So it's another one of those. Guy wants a lot of money for this thing. He's done a lot of upgrades on it, but still.
Dan says that gear shift.
Mr. Spec made me move away from the TV so I can't see details right
Go
now.
forward then. I just didn't want to be away from the microphone.
Well, then move up.
Yeah, with the bed.
Yes. Move the mattress. Put the chair over here and be half on the chair.
No, the chair's low.
I thought this one had camper stuff in it. I guess that's a different one. This one just has seats in the back. Firefly, are you saying you've never seen a Volkswagen van before? A Combi? They were the original ones. Everybody copied the Volkswagen van. Rib to feel more. Yep.
And says Carvel was a fiberglass or metal hardtop, but I didn't lift or tilt.
No, the Caravel name was on the passenger vehicles that had seats like these. And yes, it did have the raised roof. But you could also buy a cargo van with a raised roof, and it was not called the Caravel. It was just called the Combi panel.
Pablo says, I just don't know vintage Volkswagen very well. And says, never too late to learn. Billy? Billy? Pablo says, I never sat in a Volkswagen van, no.
So that means you've never driven one and never been disappointed with the lack of power.
Pablo is always in learn mode.
Who's meowing?
Danny.
Oh, hey, do not put your head down when I put my hand near you. I don't hit you all the time. You've never been in a Volkswagen van?
Says, are combi panels big like burritos? Like burritos?
Yes, a lot of them are.
Sorry,
But I posted one that was in pretty nice condition.
I'm hungry. Stop thinking of burritos.
It doesn't take much to put one of those unless the floor has just been beat into submission inside. The rest of it can be painted. You put seats in it, you put an interior in it, and it's like new again. And you redo the engine.
Sorry, what's a microbus? A combi?
Chris, what's a microbus? And here we have the 78 Caribe on the screen. I don't know. A microbus, I think, is the one that has all the windows in the roof that now goes for over $100,000.
It says a burnout combi on a hippie trailhead. And it says yes and no. A microbus was built until 1957.
But that was, yeah.
Trouble says this ID the last good car that Volkswagen ever built. This is the last good car that Volkswagen ever built. Chris says Samba is the one with the roof windows.
Oh.
Dean says like a microwave with the larger wheels.
See, we can always find these wheels and the little wheel covers to put on whatever Caribe if you don't like the wheels on it. The ordinary passenger van was called microbus in Australia. We are on a live, okay? You're not getting anything right now. You don't have to answer. I get the last word. $150,000 for a nice 23 window combi now. Wow. Okay, but some have sold for over 200. There's some crazy people out there. Why are you doing that? You want to go meow outside the door in the heat? Take a nap. Jamie Oliver has a combi with a hot Porsche engine. I could not imagine driving a fast combi. I wouldn't want one with a Porsche engine. Definitely not. It is a nice one, Dean. When I looked over the pictures, I looked for everything in place. All the body parts, all the body panels, the interior, everything is like it should be. Very, very nice. You shut the fuck up. Is it possible? Well, make it possible. I'm gonna grab your head. That's crazy, Chris. I can remember when people used to drive them as daily drivers. Yeah. I want to know who the first person was that spent $100,000 on a Volkswagen van. And we're gonna go egg his house. 351 4 barrel M code.
That was I can't buy any vehicle for 200,000. I couldn't even mortgage my house for that.
Crazy.
Chris says Revolut, two assets at Barrett Jackson got into a bidding war for a really nice 1960 23 window standback. Destroyed the market for years afterwards. Let's say 351 modified D.
I would like to know, with the high prices on the VW vans, what Fluffy's collection of Volkswagen vans are worth. I mean, he doesn't only have the old ones. He has bay windows and whatever he liked. So you are not the center of attention. Be quiet before you get flicked on the head. 351 modified, Dean? No, it's a 351 Windsor. We didn't do the modified thing in Mexico. I've always liked this wheel and the wheel and wheel cover hubcap combination. I always thought it looked really good. I forgot my Ford blocks. I think the 351 modified block is exchangeable with the 400 modified block, but I'm not sure. Just a truck 351, short deck Windsor. Mexican cars didn't get the Cleveland in their Mustangs. No 351 M's in Mexican LTDs either. Nope. All Windsors. 73 Mach. Yep. Right down. Chris says the market for Type 2s, the bus, has cooled quite a bit over the last year. That's good. It should heat up for the liquid cooled because they're much better. Very cool. It says a friend of our family who had a second-hand furniture shop in the 70s had a Combi with a Corvair engine for deliveries. Corvair engine? Corsair as it was an airplane and an Edsel.
That was as my cats are looking at the computer.
Don't encourage him, Tavo. Don't encourage him.
But Windsor.
I'm not sure you can really call it a Windsor since it was made in Mexico. It wasn't made in Windsor, Canada, but by design, the same design. But they kept the 351 Windsor 4 barrel for 70, 71, 72, 73, unlike the USA. So it was a 2 barrel 302 in the 74 Mustang 2, Dean. Yeah, Corvair. Outside.
Chris says, yeah, Corsair engine was like 18-cylinder radial. Well,
That would have been interesting to put that into a Volkswagen van. Right on the front of the van. Right on the front. Radial engine.
Tribble says, all vintage slash antique car prices are cooling off. The people interested in buying them are starting to get pretty old now.
But it's just like Tony said, it's gonna go up, keep going up, um, because people are going to be looking for the analog cars when they can't get one that'll run for more than a year at a time.
We call them Windsor and Cleveland down here, locally made.
For a description only. Dan says the only Windsor is a 351 Windsor, and only to differentiate it from the Cleveland and M.
We're going to spell check made it Corsair.
Why do you have spell check on? Spell check doesn't even like Corvairs. What did they read the book or something?
Chris says that, and people don't have the extra cash to spend on collectible cars these days.
The people that have the cash will always have the cash. There's still high prices going at the auctions, so for some cars, and the prices on exotic cars, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and everything, they're just going up and up and up and up. Pablo had a Ford Corsair down there, two completely different iterations. So yeah, four different designs. Ford the Corsair was a Ford name. It was Ford owned that name. Oh, this is the B200 that I have a client on, but he hasn't said if he wants it yet because it's a one owner truck, 50,000 kilometers on it, just as nice as you can get it. Different. It's not a stock steering wheel, but that's about the only thing. I need spell check to check. I need spell check to spell restaurant properly. The rest I'm okay with.
Tribble says there aren't as many gearhead gates now, though, Mexican, and it gets harder and harder to work on our cars every year.
That is true, but there's also kids that are going towards that way. You know, there's the kid. There are people out there with 300 million people in the U.S. There's still people out there for those cars. Not as much as before, but you know, you don't need to be getting $30,000 for a Ford Maverick. I mean, the one that I just published today was only 17,500 delivered to Nogales. Much more landed in Florida. Go ahead, Anna.
Uh,
Dean.
Cuautitlán. Ah, you. That's what you.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
Cuautitlán V8, the 289 and 302 was Mexican. The 351 Windsor was also made in the same plant. Chris says, Stray Bullet went to my mechanic this week, but has a 20-year-old kid working there. Gearhead, restoring a 72 Fury with a 440 toolkit.
That's not an easy car to restore.
What was the suppression?
C body.
It says it's worse when you spell stuff wrong in C++.
Did the picture stop? That one was on there for a long time. Restaurant seems too French to be used in America. I get that word wrong too, Biofly, and a few others, because my fingers just switch letters around. Nothing I can do about it. Everyone used to be into cars to some extent when I was growing up. Now most people would struggle to change a tire. Well, that's kind of true. You know, everybody I was in high school. Well, not everybody. So the kids that were bussed in from Compton, they weren't really into cars because that wasn't an option for them. Dean got a D minus for coding. What is C++? Josh Homan's here.
Hey, Josh,
Hello, Josh. Carlos says there's a Valiant Charger on Marketplace down here for 160,000 Australian dollars. Resto 2, not even a survivor. Wow, that's a big number.
AI.
Chris says, but were people more into cars because cars needed more maintenance? I think people were more into cars because they didn't have entertainment at home. You could stay in your home and have all your entertainment. You're communicating with everybody in the world. You don't need to go out. So car is not necessary. And if people are delivering food to your house, what else do you need? Are you reading any of them? Yeah, I'm sure you are. Firefly. It's weird to have AI code for you. Still have to watchdog, but is a bit faster once you know how to ask for what you want. C++ is AI.
Programming language.
Oh, Dean Stevenson, a complication code language, a programming language. Firefly said. Mm-hmm. I never got into that either. Ray Bullet. There just weren't as many other distractions back then, Chris. Yeah, music and cars, and I was not so much into music.
Josh.
Barry could only get 2,400 for his tidy VJ 770 charger. How long ago was that? I'm talking to them, not you. You don't even know what he's talking about. Do you know what a VJ charger is? 76 Ford Mustang 2 hatchback. You don't know what that is either. You do not. 1992. Well, maybe that'll explain it. Firefly needs to get back to digital gauge project, but it's too hot to troubleshoot the ALDL communication issues. Powell says 24,000 now as a salvageable resto project. Barry. Yeah, I don't like that price either. No. Cat's got a comment on everything. Gato Spec isn't even in here. I think these are the original wheels on the car. I remember those. I remember those wheels on Charlie's Angels.
Is it the brown one versus?
You're getting too vocal in your old age. You know that? You're gonna get more swats on the butt.
That was just like cats still keep turning their heads to the computer.
You're prompting his cats, Danny. BJ 770 with BW 35 Brown. It says, I ran the cat through the translator. He says, buy me a cougar, you cheap bastard. You don't want a cougar. A cougar will eat you. Yes, he will. He's much bigger than you. Much bigger. Barry's cougar was metallic green. Stray Bullet says, that's a nice Mustang.
Charger.
Barry's Cuda, yeah, Barry Cuda's Charger was metallic green. Stray Bullet says it's a clean Mustang. Of course it has a V8. It's in Mexico, Stray Bullet. 302. It's an automatic though. An automatico. And it's being used, obviously. The driver's seat has some wear on it. Sherwood green, like 60% of VJs. Didn't they think about what calling a car a VJ was gonna like sound like? Firefly.
How long ago was that then?
One last step, and the gauge will transmit the data stream to the phone, as well as shuffling through its display data items by swapping the touchscreen. That sounds really complicated, Firefly. Barracuda, not a particularly nice green, in my opinion. Not the nice deep chartreuse. Stephen Andrews, hola, readjourned at the local bar and grill. Oh, good. Are you having the bar or the grill? Not in Australia. They did, however, skip the VD. Well, that was probably good because you guys do kind of speak English a little bit over there or in Australia. Oh, here's the other restoration project that I think would be easy. New paint job, nice interior, rebuild the slant six, and you got a nice 65 Valiant wagon. And find the original taillights for it. Beautiful restoration project. No, you're not coming up. I'm busy. Can't you see I'm working here? We're only halfway through the pictures because we got here late. Only halfway. Firefly, the AI even labeled each program line as to what it does. Do you trust the AI though? Do you trust it? Barracuda says hot mustard would have been nice. Color? Okay, you want to be scratched? I'm going to scratch you until you don't want it anymore. Then will you be quiet? Excellent way to learn coding programming. Swap the grill and bumpers, and there you have an LHD AP6. I'm surprised it didn't have the Barracuda grill. The Barracuda grill that some of them did. An Acapulco station wagon. And here's the 79 Caribe last year for the round headlights. The paint job alone would be 10,000. Not here. I'm talking about restoring it here, Stray Bullet. We can do the paint, we can do the upholstery, we can rebuild the engine for a very reasonable price and have an extremely nice car when it's done. That paint job, if there's no rust under that paint, would probably be about $1,500. Uh-oh, what is he saying?
I just saw a message about something like
He checked the oil.
didn't use a drop of oil the way up here.
Good. It runs well. It's a very low mile engine. Tell him we're on the. Can you answer him? Tell him we're on the live right now. He can pop in if he wants. Claude is Anthropic's AI help. Firefly, always double check the AI. It sometimes drop a feature when you add another to your program. Then I have to remind it that it lost that feature and it apologizes and brings it back. Oh shit. So a bit of back and forth. Even so, it is quicker and more productive. Good paint costs $1,000 per gallon now. Not here, Stray Bullet. You're paying a whole bunch of taxes over there because it's toxic that you're dealing with. That's not here. Plus each employee doesn't want to charge $100 an hour for doing the work. Right? Right? Go lay on the bed over there. Go take the dog's bed. Go lay down on the bed over there. Go. Go on. A la cama. And here's one for Dean. We probably showed this one before, but it's too nice not to show it again. What is it with you? Hmm? You need to go on a diet too. You know that? You're not the lightest cat around. About $400 a gallon for PPG acrylic down here. Wow. They really get you. It's not even close what people charge for paint here. I'm sure you could get the really, really expensive stuff too, but what's the point? You always put clear over it anyway. Cooper Cobra. Everybody goes with Cooper Cobras now. You're messing with Tabo's cat, so be quiet. Clear coat is $120 a gallon. Wow. Wow. Stephen Andrews says those first gen rabbits golfs are pretty scarce up here now. Yeah, there's a lot of them here though. Still, I had to pick and choose from the ones that I was going to put on here of every year that they were sold here, and I'm going to make a video explaining when they started selling here, the history, what they had, the engines and everything, and then put one example of each year that is for sale. It says, and how much is a gallon of direct gloss tractor paint at Tractor Supply? Like $50? Could be. You would use single stage paint on that wagon. They didn't do clear coat back then. No, but everybody does now to protect the paint. So it's no big deal. It doesn't have to be like it was before. A gallon of John Deere Green Emerald is about $90. Yep. Meow. Me. Ow. You got the me part. I just have to give you the ow. A slap on the butt, right? 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 Biofly will be right back again. I'm not sure about the horsies on the upholstery on these Mustangs, though. It seems to be pretty popular. People are doing it. I've seen two of them with it already. Clear coat is no protection as far as I'm concerned, more of a liability, but it does look nice. If you take care of it, then it lasts. Problem is here in Mexico, the sun burns it right off the car. It is my Durango. The only places that I have clear coat problems is where it was painted for whatever it was. All of the original clear coat is still intact. Very good at Tavo. I knew a man here that bought a red E49 brand new. He hardly used it, kept it stored in his garage. Had to be the best anywhere. Sold it for 280,000 about 12 years ago. Wow. Steven Andrews is going to Tractor Supply next, and he'll check the amount, check the price. That's big money for that day, Barry. Wow. You know I don't like doing any maintenance next. That's right, Stray Bullet. But I don't think the paint is going to survive in the sun if you don't take care of it. If the clear coat's not going to survive, the paint's not going to survive either. You falling asleep? Mrs. Spec is falling asleep. Pablo's neon looks like crap now. Almost all the clear on the top surface is gone. Yeah, that is a huge problem. Definitely. Thunderbird's gonna love this car tomorrow. The '66 Thunderbird. I'd rather it have the fender skirts on it than just the chrome trim though. A '66 needs to have the fender skirts. It is a 390, not a 428, but it's in pretty decent condition. I do not see the swing away steering wheel in this car though, weirdly enough. Be lucky to get that now, Barry, unless it's an absolute hurler of a survivor, low genuine miles. Well, he was saying that it was rarely used and always in a garage, so that would cover it. Will you just shut up? You're getting on my nerves. I'm not going to give you any spaghetti sauce tonight. You're going to have to watch. You're going to have to watch Joey lick it all off the plate. Here's another B200 carryall, but whatever company built this thing, look at the rear of the truck, how square it is. Looks like it has a tailgate, but it's not really a tailgate because it doesn't have the window that goes up and down. The window flips out, so they didn't really put a whole lot of money into it. Chris says $65 a gallon at Tractor Supply. With single stage, you just do a nice cut and buff, and the paint is like new again. No yaoi off my lap. The cat isn't actually inside the computer. Well, he kind of is. And we have one of the nicer Ram Chargers that is for sale. It's really nice, except for the four center caps that it's missing, which are unattainable. And I can't tell if that's a. I don't think that's paint problems. That's what I remember hearing. He got anyway. Might have been 260, something like that. You're bugging the man's cat all the way across the other side of the world. So cool it. Cool it. An absolute perler describes it. Perler. Third seat. Don't know what it's good for, but it's there. Canister oil filters are only good if they hold a roll of toilet paper. You want to go out, don't you? Don't cry to come back in because you're not coming back in. Bravo. 1984, I got 800 for a 4-barrel VG Valiant Pacer. I thought it was a big win since I'd paid 500. Now a $120,000 car in the condition it was then. We all have cars like that, Tavo. The third seat is to keep the speakers out of the back. That could be. I don't know why they designed it like that in the first place. Any kid that sits back there is gonna get motion sickness watching everything go by the side of the vehicle. So this is a Mexican 1980 with the square headlights, or first year for the square headlights. A Mexican because there's no front side marker lights. The next year, 81, is the style that everybody knows from the US as well. Be nice if people clean their vehicles before they take pictures of them. But that's too much to ask. Way too much to ask. But it's hard to tell because there's very few pictures from the factory and, like promotion pictures and stuff. What steering wheel it's supposed to have, what dash it's supposed to have, because people just put parts in them over the years just to keep them running. There are commercials on YouTube, original commercials from Volkswagen of the Mexican Caribes, and the commercials were aimed at the performance of the car mostly, so they really pushed the performance. Pablo says many of the VWs were diesel down here. We didn't have diesels, but they did sell a few automatics here, which was crazy to have an automatic in a small car like that. Not good. Remember watching those drive around Laguna Seca Raceway on 3 wheels. Barracuda, it's enough to make you feel ill, isn't it, Tavo? Yeah, the diesels did sell in the US too. But that was at a time where people thought there were advantages to diesels. Now diesel is more than gasoline, so there's no advantage to it at all. Like with the General Motors cars that got the 5.7s, as a general rule, they put the diesel in a fully loaded car, an Oldsmobile 98, the Buick Riviera, the Cadillac Eldorado. Hello, Cop Car Steve. Thanks for joining us. So you have to deal with the diesel, but it's a fully loaded car with all the options and all the luxury and everything else. So now it says on the internet that this was an original color on the Celebrity Black, Midnight Black. But not one time in the 2 years I worked for the Chevy dealer did we get a black Celebrity in. If one came in, I would think it was for the police department because nobody would want a black Celebrity. But here's one in the original Midnight Black, 1989 with a 5-speed. Davo. Nah, just confirms my string of poor life choices, Barry, for like the last 45 years. But you didn't know, Davo. You couldn't see the future. Stray Bullet. They would lift the back inside wheel around corners. I can see that happening. Ah, nice celebrity. I like the base wheels. I like the base wheels on any car. Josh says, makes little sense that diesel is more expensive than gasoline. It is refined less. Yeah, but the prices are higher. Very good. Tavo, what diameter exhaust pipe did your VG Pacer have? Now we're up to 1981 for the Caribe. This one's not supposed to have the turn signals in the bumper, so somebody put that bumper on there. That may be the only bumper that's available in Mexico for the Caribes, since a couple of different cars have had it. I guess it's better than having no bumper at all. Firefly. Mine was silver. I named it the Silver Hornet because it had a hole in the exhaust that made it buzz. You're talking about a Caribe, Firefly? Rabbit? Stray Bullet. They figured out that diesel has more BTUs than gasoline. Dean Stevenson. Cop Car Steve. That trail bike ride Sans the Stack had didn't get out of jail card for free in your last short. Could have ended up like this. Tavo. 2 1/4 with 2-inch tailpipe. You just remember that, Tavo? Cop Car Steve. Yeah, that guy was a super cop. As soon as he showed up, I packed up my rig, threw my lights in the trunk, and took off. But on private property, you can have it flashing all you want to. This has nice seats in it. Somebody put nice seats in this 81 Caribe. You can see it's at a dealership, so they want a lot of money for it. Chris says, guy in Portland has a diesel rabbit, that color, OG owner, daily driven since new, 650,000 miles. Wow. Is that Portland, Oregon or Portland, Maine? Bravo. Standard exhaust for the Pacer. Base Valiant was 2-inch with 1 3/4 tailpipe. Bigger engine, bigger exhaust. Oregon. Okay. You still do get more miles per gallon out of a diesel, but I don't know if it offsets because of the more expensive price for the fuel now. I'm not sure. I never drove a diesel for economy or anything else. I just drove it because I like filling up the freeway with black smoke when I wanted to in my Mercedes diesel as well as my Riviera diesel. Those diesel rabbits will get 50 miles per gallon. So would a 3-cylinder, 1 liter Chevy Sprint. Old McDonald has a car. Hello, Old McDonald. How are you doing today? And here's a combi food truck. And weirdly enough, it's on the correct side. They usually open on the left side where you would have to park the vehicle backwards in order to serve anybody in the US, and they just wouldn't allow it. But this one has it opening on the correct side. So maybe it would be good for maybe whoever wants this, I'll get it for you. I don't think the taco stuff comes with it though. Biofly, have to cook dinner. Pork chops are back on the menu, boys. We're not doing pork chops till next week. Tossed it out. I'm doing pasta tonight. My second serving from the box. Gray Bullet. And the maintenance on a diesel costs 3 times as much as a gasoline. Oh yeah. Diesel shops charge lots of money to service those cars. I knew a guy. Sent my Riviera to him every time I took it out of the storage yard so he could get it running again, and then I could drive it some more. But you can't let a diesel just sit and sit and sit. No, those are tacos. It's a taco truck. set up for tacos. Could be a good money making thing because it is on the right side and it is vintage. So old McDonald. I'm doing okay if you call getting old okay. We're all getting old. Old McDonald. We did the age thing yesterday in John's thing. 2001 Dodge Ram Charger. This one is actually pretty nice for not being a fully loaded truck. The black paint looks good. I like the red on the grill. The wheels, I don't know. I like stock stuff, but it's so hard to find parts for the stock stuff. We're launching Titan missiles, he says. Should get a customer on this truck. Got a nice cloth interior, no leather. The leather just peels apart on these trucks. Needs a little sewing on the corner there. Dashboard is under a cover, so who knows about that. Danny Boy DeVile Fly. Pasta here tonight, along with homegrown eggplant. Is that eggplant the vegetable? Sure hope so. Very good. A Tavo on my 245 Ranger. It's got headers with 2-inch outlet. I chose to have a 2-inch pipe all the way back with straight through opal muffler. Does that sound suitable to you? Dean, that VW Combi Mini Titan missile launcher. We have about 10% SA. Oh, McDonald. Next spec. Where are you? Where you are, do you see northern lights? No. The we don't see much of that at all. We're only 8 hours south of the border, south of the U.S. border. Firefly. Ah, the eggplant, the tomato's nemesis. When was the last time you guys saw a 92 Cavalier in this kind of condition? Even especially in black. Goddamn right that eggplant grew out of the ground. Oh, good. I'm glad it's that kind of eggplant. Chris to Dean. Germany Army actually did that. Probably. Dean. He's a little north of the equator. Just a little. Yeah. Looks like it needs a few bulbs in the taillights, though, which is to be expected over the years. Eggplant and tomato get along fine. Spaghetti sauce, at least. Ray Bullet. I've been seeing Venus in the western sky at dusk. Is she waving at you? Dean. VV equals V2 driveway of misfits. Hmm. I don't mind Cavaliers. For a daily driver, I don't mind Cavaliers being a 4-door with a manual. But I really like the 2 doors with the Pontiac Sunbird GT front end on it. The little flip up headlight doors. Old habits die hard with a vengeance, he says. I used to work for Italians at the neighborhood store, and the wife used to make eggplant sandwiches that taste like hamburgers. Ooh, that sounds good. Say Bullet. I thought it was a UFO at first. How do you know it's not? Here's another one for you, Dean, but I had already saved the pictures when I saw that it was a color change under the hood. So, not one that's on the list to be listed. And have you guys noticed on these Mexican Mustangs, there's no side marker lights? Or some of them don't have side marker lights? Chris says to Dean, I was just trying to take the piss out of you. German army never launched missiles from T2s. Danny Boyd, the 2.8 probably scoots in that car with a stick shift. Yeah, you have control of that power. Google told me it's not. Don't believe everything you read. Stray Bullet still could be a UFO. Although you did identify it, so it can't be a U. It's just an FO. 382s missed out. Wasn't a requirement here, so they didn't do it. Mexico didn't put anything extra on the cars. They didn't need to. I don't even think they put third brake lights in '86, unless it was a U.S. design already. There were no mandates here for any of that stuff. Yeah, two brake lights aren't enough. Let's put one in the middle of the car. Oldsmobile Toronados already had auxiliary brake lights. Why didn't they make everybody do that? It is a nice interior, Old McDonald. Yeah, but it's a color change. Under the hood, there's a different color. So I don't like cars that people have changed the color on. Paint it whatever it came from the factory. And it is a manual, so why they do those stupid headlights, I don't know. I don't know. Used to be a dark blue there. I don't know. I've seen cauliflower pizza bases at the supermarket. I'm thinking of trying them. Mrs. Spec made me one time. She made a pizza crust out of cauliflower, and it was not bad. I can tell you, it was not bad. We're up to 1982. Not a GT though. GT didn't come out in 1982, so that door's a damn lie. Ray Bullet. I did see one of Elon's spaceships pooping out a bunch of Starlink satellites a while back. It scared me. Cauliflower pizza crusts are not that bad, Dan says. Definitely give it a try. You don't know who made them though. I want Mrs. Speck to make it again so we can do a barbecue chicken pizza. Oh, I could go for one of those. We don't have a really big oven though to make a big one. My son works at a pizza shop, Chris says, that offers vegan pizza. When he gets here in a few minutes, I'll ask him about it. It wasn't that bad. And if I eat it when I don't eat vegetables and fruits, if I eat it, take my word for it, it wasn't that bad. Just have to push it out of my mind that it was cauliflower. That's all I had to do. Oh my God, I used to see a lot of cauliflower ears when I lived in Detroit, but I wouldn't eat any. A lot of people fighting there, fighting in the street. Did you guys drive one of these Caribes across country? Did not have that bumper either. The turn signals are beside the headlights. So somebody couldn't find a bumper that didn't have the turn signals in them. Cauliflower what? Often beaten, Old McDonald. Big Bullet. Isn't a pizza crust vegan on a normal pizza? Probably not, because it has butter and all kinds of stuff on it, eggs in it, right? Back in the old days. The old days. And it says GL there. Good old days, just old days. Didn't have to be good. This looks like somebody put the smaller bumper on a car that should have a bigger bumper. The bigger bumper is in back. The little plastic things on the end of the bumpers go farther in onto the car. But when we get up to 1984, where the GT came out, those came with factory Recaro seats. So we should see a few. McDonald. What do you guys think of those eyeball headlights being sold now? What eyeball headlights? They grow a lot of cauliflower in the town I grew up in. Bumper doesn't stick out as far as USDM. No, but it should, because on that Caribe, did you see the in front of the wheel there was a little like black um where it was like filling a hole. That's where that's plastic side bumper thing would attach to if it had the correct bumper on it. So if somebody changed the bumper on it. Chris says the stray bullet. Sun says one ingredient has to be swapped out to make regular crust into vegan crust. Eggs. Dean says Sty paid Old McDonald. They move. Chris says cauliflower crust beets. Okay when fresh. When fresh, doesn't reheat well. Well, you got to eat the whole thing, of course. Why would you leave any? This one is not bad either. You'll notice it has different wheels on it. So probably needs a set of tires and put the original wheels back on. Thanks for your input on this matter, Chris. Is that supposed to be stupid? Are those I's supposed to be U or two O's? Okay. Sorry, Mrs. Spec is asleep, so she can't translate the emojis. When I drove one of these back from Guadalajara, what I liked most about it was I could look in the rearview mirror and see the tail light. I could see the brake light come on, the turn signal, that the headlight at night, marker light. So I knew exactly what the person behind me was seeing. So I knew when my brake lights were on. No excuses. Bruno Mars gets stupid. Chris says, all this food talk is making me hangry. We got a little bit to go, Chris. Good. Well, it says $25 here for a medium combination pizza. Medium? Is that with delivery and your $10 change? I think today is my son's last day as an intern at the hospital. I was telling him that in in exactly 46 days he's going to be 21 years old, and I said almost an adult. He says I'm an adult now. I'm saving lives. I said they're letting you save lives. Yes, I'm saving lives. Oh, okay. I don't know what he's doing in the emergency room, but I guess he's doing something. Dean says, I hope you don't lash out when hangry. The headphones might not like that. Chris says stray bullet. Large, high quality pepperoni pizza is $17 for us. Is that with your employee discount? Stray bullet. I love deep fried vegetables, Old McDonald. The H stands for hangry. Danny Boyd. Hello, Pete. How you doing today? How's Minnesota? Stop buying for a minute. Hello, everybody. Stray bullet. No, I have to pick it up for that price, Mexican. Oh, and you have to spend gas too on top of that. Whew. Josh, to me, hangry sounds like somebody that has a major league fascination with airports. Old McDonald just had a few gunshots and then a sonic boom. Hmm. We get gunshots every once in a while here too. We have to differentiate them from fireworks. Tavo, don't talk fast food prices here. Gone completely insane. $50 would barely get you a lunch for two adults at McDonald's now. Wow. Dean Stevenson, Mexican Spectre. I love it when you use your native spectism. Spectism. I refuse to pay someone to deliver my food. That's probably a good idea. Dean, mini soda rolls. Oh, this is the Dodge Dart that I published. It's got a 72 Dodge Demon grill on it. How much is that grill worth in good condition? People set off bombs where I live. Bombs? What, are you in Detroit too? He just finished up at the shop. I put a new rear pinion seal in an Enclave. Rear pinion seal. Okay. Sorry you have to work on cars like that, Pete, and not cars like you see on the screen. Mexican skepticism. That's all I have is skepticism. Chris says Otago, that's about 17 US per person. Some fast food places here are getting close to that. And it's a little over $10 for the double quarter pounder, fries, and a drink at McDonald's here. A little over 10, just a little. Rainbow, they'll be pissed if I start setting off bombs. Everyone will be replacing their house windows. You're in California, so I'm surprised the drones aren't at your house or at their house already, whoever's setting off bombs. Under surveillance. Nice guys don't explode. Nice guys can still get mad, Dean. Just push them so far, and all that built up stuff that they've been pushing down because they're nice guys will come straight out, come shooting out. Definitely for sure. So I got Mrs. Spec up a little early because we didn't go shopping yesterday because she wasn't feeling well, and I didn't have any spaghetti sauce in the house for my spaghetti tonight. The dog has only one envelope left, so it means I wouldn't have any for tomorrow morning. So we had to go shopping before the live. Glad we did. We were 23 minutes late, but you guys were talking amongst yourselves. Pete, I get my fair share of classics. I love fixing cars no matter what your make and model. They're just easier when they're older. They were designed to be fixed. Dean, don't get mad, get odd. That's my motto. But you stay odd, Dean. You don't have to get odd if you stay odd. Chris says to Dean, trust me, Dean, we're fully aware of your model. No, Chris, these taillights are not stock for this car. Somebody puts these weird taillights on like they think they look good. They're supposed to have the longer taillights. Gray Bullet, my neighbors have already found out when they start pushing the nicest, quietest person in the neighborhood. They didn't like it. How would they know it's me? Who are they? They know everything. You should never speak on the phone and say something you don't want them to know because they are listening. Pete, I have a 63 Impala coming in next week. It won't go into fourth gear. How does a 63 Impala have a fourth gear? Is it a manual? Chris says to Dean from the hello, my name is sticker on your shirt. They called the police on me. Did the police ask for your driver's license? That wouldn't have been good. In case you don't know, the Volkswagen Caribe was sold in Mexico until 1987, the 87 model year. So we still have a few left to go. Four speeds were available in 63, but I'm thinking somebody put an overdrive transmission in one of those. They are coming for me, waiting for me every single night. That's me. I think this was 84. No, this is 84. I don't think it's a GT though. They bullet. Luckily, no Mexican. I told them I wasn't going to talk about it, and they said to have a nice day and left. That doesn't sound like a cop. Dean Stevenson, I'm like the guy who has Asperger's, autism, ADHD, and INFJ all mixed up. Ray Bullet, it has a Tremec 5 speed and 383. The guy did a ground up restoration on it. He didn't do a restoration on it, Pete. He did a customization on it. Is it a linkage problem or is it an internal transmission problem? Won't go into fourth. Huh. Those are different wheels for a Caribe. Hmm. Chris says the Dean and Asperger's. No wonder the Dinglish translator hasn't been working right. I was not informed. Make the adjustments, Chris. We all would like to know what he's talking about. Wind here, see what comes out. I dare you. Wind here? Yeah, you can put GT on the seats all you want to. It's not a GT. I just have OCD, NFI, and what the fuck. We all have that last one, Tavo. More and more and more, the stuff we see. I live on a private road, so he couldn't do anything anyway. He seemed happy to not have to deal with it. Chris, I'll make the adjustments, but it'll take a while for the vacuum tubes to arrive. Don't they have them at your local Radio Shack? Everybody wants to call their car a GT, but a GT was a specific model. Okay, guys, tell me these wheel covers on this Chrysler. What year, make, and model are they from? Does anybody know? No Googling. You have to know from your brain. I kind of like the newer ones, Chris. The 85, 86, and 87s. Like I have Asperger's, autism, ADHD, but I am INFJ. Psychologists have nightmares. Radio Shack is still around? Not anymore, old McDonald. That's why I asked him. That's why I said, go to Radio Shack. Anybody know where the wheel covers are from that is on this Chrysler? They jumped out at me as soon as I saw them. Nope, stray bullet. Nope. Very good at DCT buses color scheme. Well, he probably didn't know. He's in Mexico. He doesn't know about your buses. I wasn't even traumatized. Anybody else have a guess on the wheel covers? Yes, they are from another car, Tavo. Very wild. Stray bullet, very wild guess. The guy has done a lot of work to this car, but it's still. I mean, look at the body work and the interior and everything that he did, and now look at the engine. Like he didn't even touch anything under the hood. It lets the car down. They were on the first picture, Chris. Dean, no. Imperial, no. They're not even from the Chrysler Corporation. If you look up the wheel covers from a 1960 Buick, Electra, Invicta, those are the wheel covers. He painted them the color of the car, but they are from a 1960 Buick. Match them up. These mental issues distracted me. You can go back, Josh Homan. That is okay. No one is uninformed as all of us. But it's a 1960 Buick Electra or Invicta that they came from. Kiwi just did a video of the two Buicks, his 57 and then the 60 Electra 225 that's sitting next to it. And it has those same wheel covers on it. And I said, you didn't say anything about the dash. You didn't say anything about you have to look into a mirror because the speedometer is printed backwards and you have to look through a mirror to see it. He says, oh, I didn't know about that. I'll cover that on my next video about it. Probably got the steering wheel from the same car. I didn't pay attention to the steering wheel. Fairmont. Hello, buddy. No, they're from a 1960 Buick, Electra or Invicta. The LeSabre probably had the small wheel covers. Designed to enlighten you, Chris. Here's a little bit newer, 1985 Caribe, getting into the last years of it. Also at a dealer, and they want a lot of money for this one, but it's pretty original. Not a GT. Flat interior. Somebody put that in there and on the doors and everything. You know, it's a choice. I'm just sitting here watching the wheels go around and around. I really love to watch them roll. I'm not a singer, Dean. Sorry. Lots of plaid in this one. And here's an 86. It's not original, got the wide wheels on it and stuff, but supposedly it's an original GT. Supposedly. At least the plaid is color coordinated with the paint. Yeah, they did do that. Don't ask us Mopar guys to recognize Buick wheel covers. Well, you could have had experience over your lifetime. I've had experience with every car out there. Like I told Kiwi this story, my buddy and I went out 90 miles. We drove 90 miles in a 65 Cadillac Hearse Superior to go buy a 60 Buick Invicta convertible from a mechanic. We had been out there before, and he bought the car. We're leaving. A little bit of rain starts coming down. About 10 minutes after we get on the freeway, the left rear wheel comes off the car. It didn't go flying away because the fender wells were really low on that car, the rear fender wells. So the wheel just got kind of jammed between the ground and the body, and he was able to get it off an off ramp to the to the right side. So when that happened, I went and found the uh, the wheel cover on the freeway, then came back around and parked behind him with the hearse, and then he had his car, and then we walked over to a payphone, and he called a tow truck, and he says, "Hey, this car has uh, lug bolts. They're not lug nuts, they're lug bolts like a Volkswagen." The guy on the phone says, "No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Buick never had that." So anyway, here's the Volkswagen Caribe Plus, which was their swan song for the four door. So here's one that's been restored. And then the next one after this, you'll see, is a very interesting. It's a Pro, which was the two door. So he finally convinces this guy to bring lug bolts, and he brought them. And as he's working on the car, he jacks up the car. He's putting the wheel on. This old man with his wife in the car in a Malibu comes down. We assume he saw the hearse sitting there, jammed on the brakes. Like I told you, it had started raining, so all of the oil was coming up on the off ramp. His car started to do spins, and he flew off to the left side, backwards into the dirt. And he immediately got out of his car, came around, got his an oxygen tank for his wife so she could breathe, and he was fine. His wife was fine, and then he drove away. If he would have spun out and hit the hearse, hit us because we were all standing between the cars, he would have killed us all of us, including the tow truck driver who was right there changing the wheel on the tire. And we all knew that night how lucky we were that that didn't happen. So that was a very interesting night, and we still had about 90 miles to drive home in the rain at night. Well, he did. I was comfortable in the hearse, very comfortable. Oh, don't start with the Barbie song, Dean. Nobody wants to hear that. Pink 78 Ford Tanis two door convertible. Watch the video again, Chris. Oh, McDonald. I watched a Jeep lose its rear wheel with the brake drum and go across opposite side of the I-75. Missed all the traffic. Yeah, it's horrible when a wheel is loose on the freeway. It can do a lot of damage. I've seen it myself. I'd have just borrowed one lug nut from each other wheel just to get the car moving again, albeit carefully. We had 90 miles to drive home on the freeway at freeway speeds, and we needed it fixed correctly. We weren't going to take that chance because, and like I said, we bought it from a mechanic, so why did the damn wheel fall off? Dean says Klaus must have driven it into the ground. This was an old man, mechanic. I don't know. I don't even know what happened with that car. Got it back to his house, and I don't know. Didn't have a good experience with that one. Hello G200. I have not fixed the Durango. I got the check engine light checked, and it was the coolant temperature sensor, which I bought. I just haven't been out there to replace it. Hopefully that'll fix something. But if that's not it, I'm going to take the computer off the truck, and I'm going to clean the grounds and everything. That didn't seem to help Buff and Kim, but I don't know what else to do with it. Chris says because he was a shitty mechanic. Yep. Dean says Aqua fan, long time photographic memory. Old McDonald Remind me of Uncle Tony and Bottle Rocket. Car still drove level. Stray Bullet. It's weird how when you lose a wheel, it passes you on the freeway. Very good. She's tasty. Yeah, well, this one didn't. It just got jammed in. Because of the body work on that 59 Buick Invicta. The wheel didn't have a chance to go flying off because it was the wheel well on the back of the car is pretty low over the wheel. Lucky for us, because if it would have fallen down, the body would have fallen down onto the ground. It would have done a lot more damage to that car. It would have been a lot harder to get it back up. Or he wouldn't have been able to get it off the freeway, get it off to the side. But yeah, we were really lucky that night, all of us, including the tow truck driver. And here's the 87 Caribe Pro, the last two-door they made in this body style. Pretty neat car, but they want a ton of money for this car. A ton of money. It is very nice, though. Inside and out. All restored. Ready to go. And it did come with all of those lights on the front. They put everything into this car that they had on for a Caribe. Never lost a wheel, but some of my family members have. I got a call. My buddy had my Durango, and our mechanic had just recently worked on it. He says, "Hey, you got to come over here. The left rear wheel just fell off the truck." What do you mean the left rear wheel just fell off the truck? Yeah, the lugs came off. The wheel fell off the truck. It's sitting on the rear drum. So I got all my stuff, went over there, and put the wheel back on. Ugh, you got to double check everything. I mean, ask Dougster about that. A professional tire shop left his lugs loose just before No Name Nationals last year. Dean says to Barracuda, I wasn't going to say it publicly, but yeah, although the bald headed dude was quite handsome too. Lester, why amber lights in the bumper and next to the headlights? There were like fog lights in the grill, and it should be amber lights in the front. They may have put different lights in there, but there should be amber lenses in the bumper. Tavo, my brother lost a wheel on a Fairlane in a different way. The axle shaft snapped outboard of the wheel bearing. That was fun removing the remains of the axle shaft. Wow. That must have been a lot of stress on that. Stray Bullet, I always use a torque wrench when tightening lug nuts. I use my weight as much as I can. Very cool. He has a husky voice. Chris, same here. This car is the best of the best of the best you're going to get for a Mexican Caribe. The last year, they threw everything they had at it. So, same the GT wheels on it too. I never lost a wheel, but I did lose a box spring and mattress from back of my Dakota when a guy revved his engine at me and wanted to race. Very unique interior in this car that they did not use in any other Caribe. And they did use something similar to this in the 1994 Volkswagen Fire Beetle, which was to commemorate, was it 40 years in Mexico? Volkswagen's 40 years in Mexico in 1994. They put out a whole bunch of different special versions, and the Fire Beetle had this style of interior. Wasn't exactly the same, but it had this style of interior. This is about the best you're going to get for a Mexican Caribe. Old McDonald, wife was so angry she picked both up and threw it back. Weren't they tied down, Old McDonald? No tying down your load? Very good. To lube wheel studs or not to lube them, that is the question. I say lube them. Dean says, Renee, not Klaus. Opla. Renee, I will say this only once, you stupid woman. I want you guys to look at this B200 carryall because the guy said this truck is immaculate, needs nothing, ready to go, does highway driving, no problem. I beg to differ with that. Stray Bullet lost a ladder out of the bed of a truck once, like old McDonald, and it wasn't strapped down. Gosh, a Grand Touring could be interesting, but I might pass. Buy a Hellcat Durango. No thanks. I don't like any of the new stuff. I don't like the Durango after mine. When that Durango came out in 2004, was it 2004? Yeah. I took an ice chest over there to the Dodge dealer and tried to put it behind the third seat. It wouldn't fit. Fits very well behind mine. So they made the new one smaller, even though they said that it was bigger, had a bigger interior than the previous one, the 2003. That was a lie. So no, I don't even like the style of them. I'll stick with my 2000. That's the best Durango, best looking Durango they ever made. I rarely tie my ladders down. Ray Bullet, just bring a bungee cord or something. Joy Speed was a better name for Aqua. Is that at the back of the truck? Looks like that's at the back of the truck. Stop street racing with ladders in the bed. You're going to draw attention to yourself, Stray Bullet. Too much attention. The back door is open? Aren't the back doors? The third row doesn't match the second row, which probably doesn't match the first row. I know the truck has rear doors, but where are they? I don't know. I don't know. Australians often tie their kangaroos down just for sport. I'm sure the kangaroos love that. They got those big feet to kick you with, and those big arms to punch you in the mouth with their boxing gloves. I've seen a cartoon about that. Did you guys see the little video I put out that we had a visitor in my house? I was I was sitting in the room at the computer and I heard a crash and I couldn't figure out what it was. I didn't see anything out of place. So I went out to the backyard, walked around the house and saw my little cat from outside like halfway into the dog's room. So didn't think anything of it, and then I hear the cat going into the dog's room and chasing something out of the dog's room, and that's when I saw the huge iguana that the cat was chasing, chased it to the front gate, and then she positioned herself underneath my station wagon, just watching the iguana. Yeah, yeah, the iguana, Chris. And then the iguana just walked underneath my gate, which is when I went to the second part of the video and watched the iguana walk away from my house underneath the neighbor's car when I'm telling him don't do that, don't go into that house, because they have a very large husky in that house. It only has one eye, so the iguana has a fighting chance. But he walked into their yard, and they have kind of like a little patch of grass and some potted plants over in front of their house. So the iguana went there. No, I didn't keep the iguana, Stray Bullet, because it's not mine. He's just a wild iguana, he's loose. There's a video on Facebook of a guy boxing with a kangaroo. Yeah, how old is that video, old McDonald? Remember videos like that from the 50s or 60s? He came in by himself. He goes out by himself. He's not mine, and I'm not feeding him. But I don't know if he's still over there because all the people in that house were inside, so they didn't even know he was in there. Did not know he was in there. So maybe he just kind of just stayed there. Yeah, they're usually at the park, which is up the ways a bit, but I've seen them walking across the street and down our main street over here or whatever. I just didn't know. He's obviously in the dog room to eat the dog food, the kibble. So hopefully he got a meal before the cat chased him out. The dog wouldn't have done anything. The dog probably would have looked at him with a cocked head and like, what the hell are you? Very bright green though. I wish I was in Tijuana eating barbecued iguana. Why would you want to barbecue one of those? Barracuda got Sonny's autograph in 1972 Auckland, the boy and Skippy. Delectable, Dean says. That you've had barbecued iguana? Well, he went next door. I didn't see him again. So he's fine. But how he got into my yard and then into the house with nobody saying anything, nobody barking, no dog barking, no cat making a fuss or anything, got into the room to start eating. Maybe it was his tail that hit something when the cat spooked him or something. I don't know. But hopefully he got his meal. So he didn't have to go looking for more food. But anyway, guys, we are back to the first truck now. So hopefully we'll see some of you tomorrow. Mrs. Spec is asleep, so she's not going to say anything. Thank you to Lester for being here, our member, and Overbuilt wasn't here, but he's our mod. Jay was here. Thank you, Jay, for being here. Great score, Barracuda, Old McDonald. My first time in Cabo San Lucas, we were at the pool. A foot-long cockroach ran across the cement, and an iguana came out of nowhere and gulped it down. Oh, then I should have kept the iguana here because we got a roach problem here. We have two exits from the sewer in the backyard, and we try to keep them at bay. If they're outside, I don't care. That's their department. But they come in the house and they get hit with a rag. Skippy, well-known brand of peanut butter. Yes, it is. Anyway, guys, thank you very much. Gato Spec wasn't here today, Dan. That was all Danny, big mouth Danny. Good night, everybody. We'll see some of you tomorrow, hopefully. So, yeah. Goodbye, everybody.